When we last left off, Superman had most of his powers stripped and discovered Vandal Savage was behind the whole thing. Savage then started a plan to merge various super technologies together to get himself closer to the comet that granted him his powers. Superman, realizing the entire world will be destroyed, begins looking for any means to get his powers back. It led him to absorbing kryptonite and gaining new kryptonite-based powers. Now with Savage taking the Fortress of Solitude from him, what will Superman do? Welcome to part 2 of Savage Dawn. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites before reading it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Superman flies in and he grabs onto the fortress, shouting, "Kal-El! Kal-El!" hoping that it'll recognize him. But it didn't before he lost most of his powers, and it definitely won't now that he's full of kryptonite. He holds on for his life as it lifts off of the ground and it begins to merge with the rest of Vandal Savage's base. He can't stop it no matter how hard he tries, and he's tired of letting Savage win, so he flies right through the wall of the base and he begins zipping around. He watches as Savage enters the Fortress of Solitude, and the defenses of the fortress go off, shocking Superman and dropping him to the ground. It's not going to work. Savage altered his own DNA signature to read as Superman. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman has entered the orbital lab nearby to try and figure out all of this, and she figures out where Savage is. She flies right over to find Superman slamming against the fortress's walls, and she joins in. Savage and his children all walk to the center of the Fortress of Solitude, and he's finally happy. With all of these bases merged together, he'll finally have enough power to pull the comet closer to him, allowing him to gain his ultimate power. Two of Savage's children come barreling out of the base, and they start attacking Superman and Wonder Woman. While they're fighting the twins, Savage and Puzzler, whom is in a new body, activate the tractor beam, and they grab a hold of the comet and begin dragging it closer. Savage can feel his win coming. He's finally succeeding! Even though they are slugging it out with the twins outside of the base, Superman and Wonder Woman decide that they need to stop this, and she goes over to stop the tractor beam while he works on stopping the base. Superman uses everything he has to lift up one of the legs of the base as it's currently sitting on Earth's surface, and then using everything, causing even blood to pour out of his nose, he throws it in the direction of the nearby forest. Wonder Woman runs over to the wreckage looking for Superman, but she can't find him under the rubble. Everyone has arrived looking for the Man of Steel, and Lois sends down Metallo, her bodyguard, to help find him. That's when Superman breaks his own way out. Savage and his children see Superman has survived, and they realize this isn't over yet. They activate their force field, throwing anyone who is nearby back, and then they turn up the tractor beam, pulling the comet even closer. Realizing he's about to lose everything, Superman turns to Metallo, and he tells him to open up his chest. The kryptonite heart of Metallo powers up Superman even further, to the shock of everyone around him that knows that it's actually his weakness. While this is happening, Savage broadcasts around the world to his new children, telling them to come to him for more power. Come to the site of the base and destroy his enemies, which is exactly what they do. Every one of Savage's kids flies over to Ground Zero, ready to fight to the death for more power. Superman, Metallo, and Wonder Woman begin fighting it out with the children, and that's when all of Superman's friends that he's made over the years show up to assist him. The Myth Brawlers, Baka the Demon Child, Frankenstein, to name a few. Metallo leaves the battlefield to go keep Lois safe, so in order to bring him back into the fight, she runs down into the pit with everyone else. In the struggle, Metallo takes a stray shot, taking him out of the equation, and knowing that he's about to die, he calls Superman over. He tells Superman to take his heart. He won't survive, and it'll do more good with Superman, because Metallo's heart is only for Lois, but Superman's heart is for everyone. Make Metallo's heart for everyone. Superman reaches into Metallo's chest and he pulls out the heart of the man, a massive source of kryptonite. At this point, even more friends arrive, including Jim Gordon, Batman, and Mr. Terrific. Everyone is here to save the Man of Steel and stop Savage. So Superman flies over to Savage's carrier with everyone tagging along, and they all begin a full assault on it, getting ready to end this. Batman tells him that he's found the location of the Justice League, so Superman whips around the base heading right for them. But Savage has a plan, and he begins destroying portions of his own ship while Superman watches his friends destroying the outside of it. He's furious, humbled, and proud, because in the end, all of his friends are here. He frees members of the Justice League being drained of their powers, and they all begin to make a break for it. Lex even comments how it's rather ingenious for Superman to burn away his own dead cells, except that he can't have very many healthy cells left at this point. But Savage's plan is still about to happen. The comet is being pulled close enough that it doesn't matter what's going on. He can still accomplish accomplish his goal. Superman runs back into the self-destructing base, intent on finding Vandal Savage before he can go anywhere, and Savage's answer is to load up his children into shuttles. Superman arrives as one of the shuttles begins to launch, and Savage calls out to him, "You're too late, Superman!" Superman clings to the side of the shuttle with everything, but it's going too fast, and he begins to feel his grip slipping until Savage grabs his hand and pulls him up. Vandal Savage is riding on the rocket to the comet with Superman. He begins shooting Superman in the chest, hoping it'll do something. While it doesn't kill him, it's enough to force Superman to let go and fall back to Earth, back down to the destroyed base of Savage. As he's falling, he sees himself getting closer and closer to the Fortress of Solitude, the very same fortress that has rejected him over and over. He knows he's about to become impaled, but this time, it opens for him. He burned away enough of his cells so that it can finally tell who he is again, and as he falls inside, it uses everything it has to purge him of the kryptonite and replace his battle armor. Then, in a sonic boom, Superman is back! Savage lies out on the ground, laughing at Superman. "I always knew you'd find a way back, but once again, so did I." That's the moment the children of Savage come at Superman, all powered up with the comet's powers. Superman, the League, and their friends all go in ready to fight it out with the children of Savage. It's an all-out war, Earth versus the Savage clan. And while they are distracted, Puzzler brings a rocket pack over to Savage, and overhead he can see the comet coming closer and closer. With the League defeating Savage's children easily, Superman sees his chance and he takes off into the sky to stop Savage. But it's too late as Savage is powering up off of the debris of the comet, and it's right behind the two of them. Superman and Savage begin leaping between the debris of the comet, but Savage is one step ahead of Superman, and he manages to land right on the comet itself, the source of all of his power. He becomes imbued with everything he's ever wanted, ultimate power, and in a single swing, he cracks Superman so hard that he throws him back down to Earth. Instantly, he's standing over Superman as he kicks him upside the head. "You were given a gift, Superman, the gift of strength, but instead of embracing it, you waste it away. You've made yourself a nanny, a servant, a scapegoat to the creatures utterly beneath you, beneath even your contempt. Gifts come with responsibilities, choices have consequences, and I'm going to show you what those consequences are." Puzzler then brings something over that wraps around Superman, and he wakes up in what appears to be Krypton. Savage shows him what would have happened if the Kryptonian that deflected the comet didn't actually deflect it. The race would have been powered up and have been able to stop the destruction of their own world. The strength it granted could have saved Superman's family, but he doesn't want to believe in the power of the comet, so Savage shows him a possible future for them right now. With Savage in charge and Superman as his general, using their power they could bring order to the world. Superman almost buys into this one until he sees what Savage would do with the weak, turn them into servants of the powerful. He then shows Superman the path the world is currently on, one where everything dies, everything ends without a leader. Savage then takes off to the comet, telling Superman to make a decision, team up with him or fight him. Superman thinks about it for a second, but his father taught him the truth a long time ago. Our choices make us who we are. Superman is not a man who believes in strength above all else. He rockets up to the comet as it's aiming right for Earth, and using all of his strength, he tries to slow it down, but it's not working, and that's when Puzzler flies down to see Superman there. But instead of attacking him, he asks him, "Why did you save Hodor instead of killing him?" Superman tells him that even though Hodor was a robot, he was more than data. He was a person. As are you. Now, do you want to be a collection of data at Savage's disposal, or something more? Puzzler decides something more, and he pushes against the comet with Superman. But Savage is riding on top of the comet, and he hits it with the full force of his powers, splitting the comet in two. The fissure made the entire thing unstable, and in a massive explosion, the comet was done, throwing Puzzler, Superman, and Savage away from it, rocketing back down to Earth at insane speeds. Superman wakes up, successful. Lois and Jimmy run to his side to tell him that there is no sign of Savage and no sign of Puzzler. Though the Coast Guard is looking for them, the comet is gone. It's nothing more than ash in space. The world still knows that Clark Kent is Superman, but they also know that he saved the League, the Earth, and everyone living on it. So they decide that he's not so bad anymore, because Superman is back. And that is the conclusion to the Powerless Superman arc. I know I've been waiting for such a long time for Superman to return, but you know what? In the end, this story arc wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed seeing this side of Superman, and I hope you did too. If you want to chat about this or any other video on the channel, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, follow me on Instagram at Comicstorian, and if you want to hear more comic books right now, then go check out our gaming channel, Eligible Monster, where you can find gaming comic books like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Assassin's Creed. I'll see you guys next time right here.